Amandla! Amandla! Fellow South Africans, Bagaetsu, Dumelang. You know, when I look out here, I see all of you, you look so beautiful in your beautiful colors. You know, it's so nice to look outside and to see black people, white people, Indian people, colored people, South Africans from all walks of life. Nibahle. Bagaetsu, on Monday, we'll be celebrating our country's diverse and beautiful heritage. It's a day that we need to pause and reflect on the rich tapestry of our history that has shaped us and that has built us into the nation that we are. Our past was a brutal past. Our past was a divided yesterday, and I believe because people tried to use these very differences to drive wedges between us. They tried to tell us it's our skin color, it's our language, it's our culture, it's our religions that in fact divide us. They oppressed many, but they couldn't be more wrong. Fellow South Africans, I want to say to you, our diversity is precisely what makes us strong. Our future lies together, and let no person tell you otherwise, for when we are united, we can go forward. And so today I want you to cast your mind back to a very specific moment in time. I want you to think back of April 1994. I want you to try and remember how you felt on that day. I remember 1994 very well. Many of us, many of you will remember it too. Some of you were young, some of you were old, some of you voted. And I've heard the stories of the people on the day. But I'll never forget how it felt that we could close the chapter on that old brutal South Africa and open the chapter on a new one. We all knew we are witnessing history. We are witnessing something powerful that was unfolding, and I'm most grateful I lived to be a part of it. I remember what it meant for people where I grew up, for the community about Tobacco Topsi, ko Soweto, ko Pimvili, ko Dofaya, ko Bako Gae Batubali. But it was powerful, it was exciting, and it was tangible. I remember how we felt. We all had hope. We all had belief that we could actually make it work. That in fact, we would heal our broken yesterday. Fellow South Africans, I make no apology. In fact, what happened during apartheid and colonial left a deep and a painful wound in our society. Those wounds have not healed yet. In fact, they won't heal for many years to come. The injustices that we felt then remain injustices that we feel today. The inequality that was there remains an inequality that we feel today. But our people are still suffering, and they will continue to suffer until we correct the structural defects that are in our economy today. They will continue to suffer until we break down the spatial segregation of apartheid and bring our people closer to places where they can work, live, and play, and find work opportunities. Our people are still suffering. They will continue to suffer until we find a way to bridge the gap between business and labor. Black and white, They will continue to suffer until we find real solutions to dealing with our country's historic exploitation of labor. That's why Ntate Herman Mashaba mo o tsere tshwetso ya gore o tla nka di-security ba ba kenye mo gare ga masepala gore ba duele ka tsela e lokileng gore ba tsebe gore bokamoso ba bone bo botoka. Amandla ke tieo a re tshetshele morago re ya pele. Ha ba bang ba re ba bang ba bereke somewhere rona re kena mo masepaleng re go duele shapo o ye pele. Fellow South Africans, our people will continue to suffer until, through a better education and training, our young people become more employable. Yes, our country still is scarred from our past. But I remember, like you, a time where we all believed we could make this right. When we took our first steps as a democracy back in 1994, we had a visionary leader who was able to paint a picture of what we could be if we set our minds and our hearts to it. We had a leader who made us believe that, in fact, whatever our country's history is, whatever our hurts, whatever our backgrounds, we could overcome it, and we could overcome it together. A leader who reminded us that we had a nation to build, a brand new nation with new ideas, with new opportunities and new challenges. We had a new government, a new constitution, and more importantly, we were all neighbors of one another, and we had to find a way. We had to say we lived alongside each other for decades, but for the most part, we lived past each other. We were strangers to each other, and we were even enemies of each other. But that was all about to change. For the first time ever, we were one nation, one people, bound together by a common goal, and I loved how that felt. I don't know about you. When I saw pictures of TV, on the TV of helicopters flying over the Union buildings, carrying those massive flags, my heart felt like I don't know about you, but I had my little flag. You could wave it and say, "Hi, Gugu." It feels good to finally say, I am a South African. My flag had those big bands that swept together in a V and continued as one united band. Just as we'd come together from our fractured, divided yesterday, we were now headed towards one united destiny. We were truly indeed a country alive with possibilities. And those possibilities were rooted in our people. The talent, the creativity to make a new mark in the world and to leave a new legacy. Yes, there were those who said it wasn't going to work. There were those who said our wounds are far too deep and the divisions are far too wide. There were those who predicted resistance. They said there'd be revenge, there'd be civil war. Ay, but Morena, ababulukas chabasayesu. We never listened to that small minority who said we are not going to get there. The vast majority of the people of South Africa stood united and said, no, we stand with our constitution and we are ready to face a future for all of us. Amandla! We could see a path. We could see that we were getting into a bright future, writing a new story. I don't know if you remember this. I don't know if you can recall, and I don't know how you felt. I do. Because I know what it's like when we worked together, when we were united, and that when we all of us had a purpose. But I know, fellow South Africans, it would feel like we've left this path. In fact, we know we started to make progress, but communities long overlooked and neglected were given services for the first time. Motlakase, metsi, suichi, ditsela, dilaete, the things that so many people today take for granted, but which can make all the difference in the world. Houses and schools were built. Townships started attracting new businesses, shops, and big new malls. You could see progress in those early years. But it seemed like we could, in fact, build this South Africa. We could build this nation that we dreamt of, that Tata told us about. But I can see it certainly didn't last. First, our progress slowed down, and then it hit a U-turn, and now it stopped. Communities find themselves once again forgotten by the government, unless the election they are coming. Service delivery has slowed down. Housing projects have stopped. But above all, I don't know about you, but I am sick and tired of the millions of jobs that were promised, but still today our people cannot find work. I am sick and tired of that. It would feel like every single year more and more of our people join the long lines of unemployment. They finish school with a matric. Because it means nothing. And you know, when I speak to young people in South Africa, they tell me, around the yellow haze the whole day. What hope is there for young people? It is simply heartbreaking that our youth, every promise this government has made has turned out to be an empty promise. After 2 decades of freedom, our people are still no closer to being free. Fellow South Africans, the South Africa I see today is certainly not like the vision of the South Africa I saw in 1994. It looks like a dream that we all shared. It doesn't look anywhere near it, and it looks like we are moving away from it. What was a dream is fast becoming a nightmare. And I know I'm not the only one who feels like that. Every single day in our cities and our towns across provinces, people voice their anger because they've been sold too many empty promises. Fellow South Africans, when you see that crime is rising, hey man, everywhere. Murder is on the rise. Violent crimes like murder, like rape, like robbery. We are prisoners in our own country. People are feeling scared. I'm a father of a young girl. I don't know how I expect her to walk around in certain parts of South Africa. They feel like this government has abandoned them. It's left them at the mercy of gangs and drug dealers. They are right, and they have every right to be angry about this. Jobs are scarce, and there are very few jobs that are available, and the jobs that are available are given to those with political connections. If you want a job in certain places, you must pay a bribe, and some of them are being asked to sleep with other people because corruption has become the new normal in government. I don't know anywhere where things are working. It is an oppressive evil for which no one has ever been punished for corruption. Even though when the facts come out, state capture, investigation, marai, instead, they keep their jobs, they get promoted, they become secretary generals of the ANC, they become deputy presidents. But David Mabuza, they are getting promoted. Fellow South Africans, all the progress that was made in bringing services to community is slowly being reversed. These days, taps run dry, sewage. Waitsa o ibitsa ka makas khoa, ha o ibitsa sewage. Ena le wa itse go ka se re ibitsa, re bona go strateng. Ya tsamaya. Municipalities can't even keep the lights on and the streets clean. And our people are angry about this. All of this anger has started to boil over into our towns across South Africa. Our country feels like it's a country on a knife edge all the time. Toy and protest action is taking place throughout this country. It's always a gentle reminder of just how far we've missed the target set for ourselves in 1994. But I want to say this. It didn't happen by accident. We didn't lose our way. It wasn't bad luck. It's not cyclical. We lost our way because the moment this government realized that they could become rich for themselves instead of empowering our people, it became very clear just how easy it is to steal money from our people, meant for the people, and put it into the pockets of politicians, of their friends. That's when we lost our path. And since then, fellow South Africans, we've been drifting further and further away from the future we all once imagined. Instead of one nation pursuing one common goal, we were two separate South Africas. A South Africa for Babang, Babakodimu, where people are at the top, where people are with jobs, where people are with services, and a South Africa, Yababanti Babang, Baba Linkonte, Baba Sabereking, the economic left outsiders. There are too many of our people who are stuck on the outside. People who are without jobs, people without the right connections. They are the forgotten people of South Africa. And sadly, it's not the first group, top Shaela, that are at the top, that are making their way. It's the second group that's becoming bigger and bigger every year. This group is growing with unemployment, with poverty, with hopelessness, and it is, in fact, the single biggest threat to our economy. Those South Africans have a face, they have a gender, if we don't find a way, South Africans, to bridge a gap between these two South Africas and become one nation again, I am telling you now, our dream of a safe and prosperous South Africa will fade away almost completely. Ek weet nie van almal. Genoeg is eintlik genoeg. Fellow South Africans, I believe the only way we will be able to achieve this is if we are completely honest about how we got here. And I'll tell you now how this has happened. Waiti, it's complacency that's got us here. It's this government that realized that it didn't have to work for the people. And yet, you know, I want to keep voting for them every single year. But the way, it is indifference that has got us here. It's this impunity that's got us here. We have a government that has long forgotten the sacrifices that were made to get this freedom. It's a government that no longer says it cares for the people. And lastly, it's the greed that has got us here. Babang have got too much, man. Too much. Yet so many have got too little. The more they steal from the people, the more they wanted. That's how we lost our way. Amandla. Amandla. Viva South Africa, viva. I don't know about you, but I want to fix this country. Amandla. I want to fix South Africa. I want to tell you something. We have to ask ourselves, which South Africa do we want to live in? Do we want to live in a South Africa that is going the way they want us to go, where the gap between insiders and outsiders continues to grow until there's no way of being closing it? I don't know about you, but I don't want that South Africa. I want to return to the dream of a united South Africa, a South Africa that works together to build the future of everybody. That's the South Africa I want. I want to build a South Africa that has dealt with inequalities of the past, where everybody in our country has access to opportunities. Amandla! I am here to enlist you Democrats. If you want this South Africa, and I know in my heart you want that South Africa, then it is. This is the only party, the only one party that is fighting for that cause, for that vision, for that dream, and that party is the Democratic Alliance. It's the party. Give you South Africa. If that's the path we choose for our country, then I want to take more sni. Our work begins right now, right here. Today marks the start of the DA's election in 2019's campaign. And from now until we go to the polls, all of these honorable members and my colleagues will spend every single day telling the people of South Africa what they can expect from a DA government. Here's what I want to tell you what you can expect from a DA government. This is a DA that will bring change, that builds one South Africa for all the people, regardless of where you come from. Amandla! This is our message. This is our dream. And it's in this simple message that is everything our country needs to do to be able to reach its potential. It's when we work together we can say we will focus on 5 key areas. Issues of corruption, issues of crime, issues of jobs, issues of immigration, and issues of service delivery. We have a plan, and I want to call this our agenda for change. I want you to hear you say it. It's an agenda for change. Amandla! Amandla! Forward with the agenda for change, forward! It's an agenda for change. These are issues that matter to our people. They matter to South Africans. These are the issues that the DA wants to put forward a clear and a credible plan to deal with these issues. I'm here to tell you, our message speaks of fighting corruption and state capture. Because it's happening everywhere. Look at Maspalang. They've captured Maspala. Hey, but capture and we've got to rid our country of this for good. We don't want state capture to ever happen again. We know that our country did not enter a new dawn after Jacob Zuma left it. Because it's clear, nothing has changed. The same corrupt people that sold our country to the Guptas under Jacob Zuma are now senior lieutenants still in the government of today. No one has ever charged, no one has ever been prosecuted, no one has ever been fired. Only one party takes clean, corrupt-free government seriously, and that is the DA. Why in our governments? You can't say government ya DA is corrupt. Government ya DA corrupt. Ayo. So let me tell you, number one, when the DA comes in 2019, if you are found to be corrupt, we want to make a pledge. You will spend 15 years in jail. 15 years. Yeah, vele. 15 years jail sentence when you are corrupt. They must get those orange jackets. 15, strong too. Our message speaks of fixing the police force so that our police actually can work with the people, protect them, and serve the people. Fellow South Africans, Bahaitsu, I worry that, my children listen to gunshots on television. But there are too many children who listen to gunshots in their streets, especially in communities like Bonyanga, Bom Mitchell's Plain, Bom Eldorado Park, Batubarnaba Sokola. Right now, our police force can't keep our communities safe. They are not properly trained to do so. And corruption. Baba Batlancho, Horba investigated the case. Siabazi, Riabaziba. And we want to say that DA will transform the South African police service into a lean, clean, crime-fighting machine. We will only hire policemen who have a passion for policing, who know what policing is, and we will retrain existing officers so that they can serve and protect with pride. Amandla. But I want to say this to you. We will bring back gang and drug units that were disbanded by the ANC government so that those drug dealers who are destroying our communities, particularly our young people, will know the gang and drug unit is coming back under the DA and we are going to deal with you. Let's all swab about Satan. Sorry. Sobathola, Amandla, Siabangena manje, Siabangena. Our message speaks to the crucial issue of employment and how we can ensure that South Africans have got fair access to work. And when I say jobs, I mean long-term, sustainable jobs. Isn't scropo, long-term, sustainable jobs. Only the DA has the plan to harness the power of the private sector and the power of entrepreneurs to create jobs. You know, when I come to Soweto, there are so many entrepreneurs, Sifuni DA sevens and all over the country. We've proven this beyond all doubt, and in the province and the metro where we govern. In the last year, 3/4 of all new jobs were created by the DA-run Western Cape for the whole country. Amandla. Fellow South Africans, we must break down state-owned enterprises. We must make sure we build our cities to create sustainable infrastructure, support small businesses to thrive. This is our agenda for change. But our jobs isn't only to create new jobs. It's also to make sure that young people have the skills and the experience that most must come from these opportunities. We have some big plans to achieve this, and now we want a national civilian service where people in 1 year can work together. Young people must be able to find a job for Jara. And we're going to enhance a network of job centers across the country. But jobs means nothing if our people can't access those jobs. And so the DA is going to make sure there's fair access. We're already doing it in government. We are going to do it nationally. We will charge and prosecute each and every person who tries to get sex for jobs, who wants to get cash for jobs. We will prosecute you. Amandla. But our message speaks to the urgent need to secure our country's borders. Fellow South Africans, we want people to come to our country, but they must come here legally. And we must shut those who are here, who want to come here illegally. We must strengthen our border posts. And we must make sure Home Affairs haina corruption, register batho, and it can give a legitimate care for refugees and asylum seekers. No country in the world can afford uncontrolled immigration. And particularly, no country where resources are as scarce as ours. But fellow South Africans, we need a country that is prepared to lead on this. A government that won't allow this dangerous power keg to be left uncharged. And under the DA, we will restore the law and order that this government has been unable to maintain. Our message speaks of a delivery of better and quality services and life for our people by speeding up the delivery of our services. We must make sure that those who are without basic services, who are being robbed of their dignity, have those services speedily delivered to them. All over the country, there are still too many communities without water. There are still too many communities without electricity. There are still too many people abasebenzisa ama-bucket, toilet. We want to speed up the delivery of those services for our people. All these promises must be made by a government of people living under these communities. They've been made before by another government and they've been left empty. In under 2 years, the DA-led coalition in Nelson Mandela Bay got rid of the metro of 60% of its buckets. We came in there and under 2 years, we removed those buckets. It's still not perfect, but it's our Kuba. Because the previous government didn't care about it. I want to say the DA government has a plan to speed up service delivery, especially basic services. We want to ensure that we clean out local and provincial governments so that we can ensure that our people's money is spent on the people, not on the politicians. This includes the allocation of government housing in a fair and a transparent manner. And now, fellow South Africans, I want to speak about justice. Amandla, there is an injustice in our country which lies at the heart of the land question. As the DA, I want to commit this to you. We will ensure that more black South Africans are able to own land through secure private property rights all across South Africans. Only the DA will have a plan to achieve that. Amandla. We want to support the rights of all South Africans to own property. These are issues at the core of the message that we'll be taking to every corner of South Africa in the next coming months. This is our most ambitious election campaign yet. And to do so, we will rely on the efforts of the biggest team we've ever assembled. We call it Team One South Africa. The team is not only of DA public reps, staff members, campaign spokesperson, and a head of policy. It's those people who are not only signed up, it's not only people who are signed up for the DA members either. It's for everybody. Team South Africa includes every single South African who want to join us in building our country of our dreams, no matter how big, no matter how small your contribution is in. I'm here to invite every single one of you. The DA today is going to run a massive election operation. And in our recent years, we will be spread to every corner of every province. It is out of these communities where the election will be won or lost, and the vast network of our volunteers will form the heart and soul of Team South Africa. Amandla, who here is ready to be part of Team South Africa? Anybody that is here who wants to be part of a movement in every community, in every online platform, your contribution is going to make a difference. Amandla. So I want you, if you want to be part of Team South Africa, I urge you to go to teamsouthafrica.co.za today. You can sign up. Because when we unite, we have a power to change anything that we want. I also want to say to you, we've created an advert that talks to our strength in unity and about how unimportant and superficial our differences are. And I want everybody to turn and look at the screens and look at this advert.
As South Africans, we come from a hard past. In many ways, we are still a nation divided. A nation with a hard future ahead. We are used to living in a world of us and them. The ones we trust and those we don't understand. Those who have, and those who have not.
I'm sure many of you are wondering why you are here and why you are standing in the boxes that you are standing in. Many times, people want to tell us who we are, what we are, because of how we look. So today, we want to tell a different story.
When we take the time to really see one another, then there is us. Those who voted in 1994 and those who were born free, the breadwinners, and those of us desperately looking for a job. Some of us love Gqom and some can't pronounce Gqom. And then there are those who simply love to dance. Despite our differences, there is more that brings us together than keeps us apart. And then there are those of us who worry about our children's future. And those who don't feel safe in their homes. Too many of us are struggling to make a living. But all of us dream of a better tomorrow. We who refuse to give up hope. We who refuse divided. We want to work together to realize the vision of Nelson Mandela. United, we will bring a better future for all of us. United, we are Team One South Africa for all.
I'm going to ask everybody just to stand up. I want you to stand with the person next to you. I want you to hold their hand. Because fellow South Africans, I don't know about you, but I'm becoming more and more despondent about the state of our nation in the recent years. I have become noticing that our daily headlines make for painful reading. But I want you to focus on the far ahead. I want us to know that we have a goal to achieve. I need you to remind yourself what it felt like on that day in 1994 when we all believed that something was possible in our nation, that our country could in fact achieve something. I want you to remind yourself about how it felt to be a united movement, a South Africa for all, a goal we all truly believed in. I don't know about you, but I think it's possible. I think it felt for the first time when we sang our national anthem together and said, we will bridge the divides of our nation. And then I want you to know and ask yourself, which South Africa would you rather live in? A South Africa that is divided, that is going backwards towards poverty, unemployment, and growing anger? Or are you with me and you want to stand together for a South Africa that has a shared future, a shared tomorrow, a prosperous tomorrow, a South Africa for all? If you are part of the latter team, I want you to stand together in next elections. I want you to come out in every corner, in every street, and say to the people of this country, change is coming. Change that will build one South Africa for all. And I want to tell you, only one party can achieve that, and that party is the Democratic Alliance. We stand united behind this goal. We stand united behind this dream. And it's a South Africa that we want to build. Our nation is pursuing one shared tomorrow. Nkosi sikeleli Africa. God bless South Africa. God sien South Africa. Let us live and strive for freedom in South Africa, our beautiful land. May God bless you. Amandla! 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 Kiri ho ya runa.
Forza!